Hello and welcome to today's episode. I want to begin with a question today. Have you ever felt like life has passed you by as though you've been asleep for years and suddenly you wake up wondering, where did all the time go? So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. That's the topic. So I'm going to be talking about what it means to live your life in fight or flight mode. And then one day you suddenly wake up just to realise that huge chunks of your life are gone and actually forgotten, blurred, or it feels like they're missing. For me, it feels as though I blinked at the age of 6, 7. And when I opened my eyes again, I was 33. Maybe you felt something similar in your own life. Today I want to explore what fight or flight really is and how it can affect us and why it can steal so many years without us even realising. And most importantly, how we can begin to wake up, heal, and to truly start living our lives. So let's dive in. So what is fight or flight? We've all heard the phrase fight or flight, but what does it actually mean? So fight or flight is our body's survival response. It's an ancient system built into us to keep us alive when there's danger. Imagine a lion appearing in front of you. I'm not talking about in a zoo behind a cage. I'm talking about if you came face to face with one in real life. Your heart would race, your body would get tense, your mind will become sharp because you'll be ready to either run or fight for your life. The system's brilliant when we're facing real immediate threats, but here's the biggest problem. Our modern world can trigger the same response, even when we're not in danger. Stress, trauma, toxic, violent, unsafe environments, even if you're living in a constant sense of anxiety, all of these can keep your body stuck in fight or flight. And when you live in fight or flight long enough, it becomes your normal everyday response. You don't even notice it anymore. You just keep pushing, surviving, running. But you're not really actually living your life. Sometimes you experience the loss of time. And here's where it gets personal for me. Living in fight or flight doesn't just drain you, it robs you of your memories. When your nervous system is always on high alert, your brain doesn't prioritize storing memories or building rich experiences because it's too busy keeping you alive and fighting for everything around you because it perceives it as a danger. That's why for me, it feels as though I blinked at a young age. And when I opened my eyes after my daughter was born, basically, it was whole decades later that felt foggy, like they're locked behind glass. I know I lived them. I grew up, I worked, I loved, I laughed, I struggled. But it's almost as if someone else lived it and I just wasn't there. Sometimes, we live our life and it can feel like it's so surreal that we wasn't really present for any of them situations. Have you ever really looked back and realised You can't remember whole chapters of your life. Maybe your childhood feels like a blur. I know mine does. Or your 20s disappeared in a haze of just trying to cope. If you have, just know this. You're not broken. This is something that our brains do to protect us at the time. But this happens, and we do lose time when we're stuck in survival mode. The answer is simple, but also profound. Our brains are wired to prioritise survival over everything else. When you're in danger, or when you feel you're in danger, your body doesn't care about building memories or enjoying the little moments. It cares about getting you to the next moment alive. And when this goes on for years, maybe because of childhood trauma, living in a stressful environment, or you're carrying unhealed wounds, your nervous system never gets a signal to relax. And I always found it so hard to relax. You stay in fight or flight, and it can sometimes last for decades. And in that state, you don't truly experience your life. You go through the motions, you survive, but that's a reason that you don't remember them. Suddenly, I started to wake up. Something shifted in me, and it was like when I became a mum, because for some people it's triggered by a big life change. It doesn't have to be a pregnancy, having a child. It could be a loss or a new beginning, or even just a quiet moment of reflection. For others, it's more gradual, like the fog slowly lifting. Suddenly you realise you've lost years. At first, that realisation can bring grief for the childhood you didn't really get to feel, grief for the 20s or 30s that slipped through your fingers, grief for the moments that you just aren't there, present. But there is hope in that moment, because if you can wake up, it means you're ready to stop just surviving and ready to actually start living your life. And the truth is, it's never too late to start living in the moment and living for yourself, to have experiences that you enjoy and remember. So how do we move from living in that mode to actually living our life? So how do we move from fight or flight into actually being present? I want to share a few gentle steps that can help. So awareness is the first thing. The first step is just simply noticing, paying attention to the times when you feel tense, restless, or on edge. Becoming aware of when your body slips into survival mode is very, very, very powerful. You learn tools that bring you back into the present. Deep breathing, mindfulness, meditation, even simply noticing your senses, what you can see, hear, touch, taste, smell. The breathing exercises are absolutely amazing for that, and there is some here on my podcast, different types of breathing exercises that can really help with this. So being in the present pulls you back into now and actually living your life in the present day. You can create safety around you, and this is another thing that we've spoke about in another episode about setting your boundaries, creating a calm space in your home, and surrounding yourself with people who feel safe. The nervous system needs to feel secure to begin healing. Try reconnecting with like things that you enjoy. Start small, listen to music that makes you feel alive. I often do this when I'm washing up, cleaning the kitchen. I put on songs that really make me feel empowered, that relate to how I've felt. And it's really nice to listen to these songs because you're recognizing how you've been feeling, but you're in the present too. So it's kind of a healing process. I mean, music is amazing for that. If you prefer to spend time in nature, do that. Spend time in nature, touch the trees, listen to the noises, smell the earth, the trees, everything around you. Like, creating some joy in your life doesn't have to be big or loud. It just has to be real. You can get professional support like therapy or trauma-informed counselling or somatic breathing. It can be life-changing. Sometimes we need help untangling the knots of our past that have mingled into one, and we don't know whether something happened or it didn't happen or what we're remembering is real. Therapy does help with this. Patience as well with yourself. I mean, this is probably the most important step when it comes to healing, and kicking your nervous system into enjoying your life. You've got to be patient with yourself because healing isn't linear. Some days you feel wide awake, other days you might slip back into old patterns. I mean, that's okay. What matters is that you are coming back to yourself, no matter how long it takes. Even if we only have a few present moments in our everyday life, them present moments are going to be more than what you've been living. So if you're listening to this and you're realising that you've been in fight or flight, you've lost years of your life to survival, basically. You know, trauma does it. It really does. Trauma can rob you of your memories. But just remember that you are not alone. Many of us are waking up to this same truth. Many of us are grieving lost time. But also, many of us are stepping into a new way of living. One where presence, joy, and peace are possible. You may feel like you've lost years, but you haven't lost yourself. The present moment is still here. It's always here. And you can choose today to fully start living. Thank you for listening to today's episode. If this resonated with you, I'd love for you to share it with someone who you feel they might need to hear it too. And if you feel called, take a little time after this to reflect or journal where you have been asleep in your own life and how you can begin to wake up today. Until next time, take a deep breath, choose presence, and remember your life is waiting for you.